following program on Ada Derana 24 is classified for general audience. It is intended for all ages. It contains little or no violence, no strong language, and little or no sexual dialogue or situations.
Very good evening, and you're joining us on another episode on Business Best. And as you all know, this is a platform where we showcase the best in the business, and we'll be introducing to you people who have excelled in their particular field in order to showcase their latest developments in their respective industry. Now, today on the show, we have a guest who has been with us prior, probably about 2 years ago, and he has been talking about his company called Pink Drives, which was a female-driven Uber, a taxi service per se. And also he did mention about another firm that he was operating called Mankiwwa app, where he actually built this application in order to bridge the gap between government authorities and our locals here. Because as we all know, it's very difficult to get in touch with government authorities in order to get anything done at the moment. So the reason why I got him again on the show is because after about 2 to 3 years of service, he has been able to win the award of the World Summit Awards in the year of 2022, and this award is providing a meaningful selection of worldwide digital solutions that are contributing to the achievement of the UNSDG, which is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So with that little introduction, I would like you to be introduced to Shohan Kulasuriya, who is the founder and also social entrepreneur for Mankiwwa app and also Pink Drives. Thank you, Shohan, for joining me again after so long.
And thank you very much for inviting me for the second time as well.
Okay, Shohan, so I think I gave a basic idea about what Mankiwwa app is. So give a little introduction to what this application is and what the service that is provided in this application, and also about what this award is that you won.
Okay, so talking about Mankiwwa is a solution what we introduced to bridge the communication gap between the citizens and the government organizations in Sri Lanka. So currently we are focusing on connecting the local government authorities, because that's the closest authority to the citizens in Sri Lanka, where they're looking to the environment challenges. So for example, in the current scenario, if your street light is not working, if there's a pothole on the road, if there's garbage dumped, or many environment challenges, the current method of communicating is either give a call, where it's rarely happening, but 99% of the time the citizen has to visit the authority to make a complaint. So as you know, you and me and everybody is busy with their other work. So people are reluctant to visit because they think that it's a hassle to visit these authorities and communicate. And even after communicating, they don't get a feedback. So the people are very reluctant to visit authorities, and they have a negative approach about these government organizations. So I personally had to face a similar situation, which I had issue with one of my street lights. So that personal reason made me to bring in a solution, because that's not only for me, and it's not only for you as well. The whole citizens in Sri Lanka face this challenge. So we thought of bringing in a solution to bridge this communication gap and introduce Mankiwwa, where citizens can report anything related to the local government authorities at any time in their authority area, and while notifying the people who are responsible to fix these issues on real time. And simultaneously, the higher authorities also be notified to monitor and look after these issues and to look into the solutions as well. So when you talk about these World Summit Awards, actually we have been recognized many times in Sri Lanka during the past 3 years, and for key things about, in 2009, I was awarded as the best software solution for the year, and the best social entrepreneur of the year, and best social innovation of the year likewise. But this special award is very unique because it comes from an international recognition and from United Nations as well. So this award is, we cannot actually apply for it. They have to nominate us. So 7 Sri Lankan tech solutions which supposed to supports United Nations SDG goals was nominated from Sri Lanka, and I think there has been a lot of nominations across the world from 150 plus countries on the UN nations, and all the 7 nominations were shortlisted to 134, and unfortunately only I was selected as the best 40 among the world, and it was categorized into 8 categories, and we were recognized as the best 5 software solutions under the inclusion and empowerment category.
That's amazing to hear, because speaking to you a few years back, you had just started the business, and it's nice to know that you all have been developing so far and that your company had been recognized by an international body also. And what I want to say is that it's very impressive to know that this sort of application is available at the moment, because as you said, people are busy these days. People go to work, and in order to get something done with our government, they will probably have to apply leave and go visit the municipal council. But here you are, you have an application, people can lodge their complaint, and people will act upon it. But now I want to ask you, the response time between government authorities and the locals. Now we'll say I lodged a complaint today. How long do you think that people will take to respond to it? Because usually when you go manually also, people have to stand in queues and they have to stay for hours, and they don't get instant responses even if they do that. So how effective is this application so far?
So when we started initially in 2019, actually it was very tough to introduce these to the government authorities, but we were able to start in one local government authority in the Gampaha Municipal Council. We just wanted to introduce this free of charge to them, and introduce and test this and to see how this works. There were so much of rejections coming in at the initial stage, but after a particular period of time, they also got to know the system, and they saw the benefit what they get through the system. So when we introduce this, the citizens, it's 24/7, they can report anything in their neighborhood to the local government authorities, and also these authorities gets real-time notifications, and also in reflecting in their dashboard, so that there will be an automated workflow coming into the process, and also they can start work without even calling or everything. So they will get a image or a short video of the issue, and also the exact location, which is very necessary to look into this. So, and also through the system they can assign tasks to different people who are responsible to it, and also they can visit the place and they can monitor and take necessary action. And simultaneously, likewise, the supervisors, the heads of the organization can also monitor and see what type of issues being reported regularly, daily, and what is being completed and why these are not being completed, so they can monitor these as well. So I think initially it took a little bit of time frame to introduce this and get things sorted out, get them to come onto the system, get them helpful with this. And later on, I think now we have been able to transform some of the authorities which we are working right now. For example, street lights are being fixed within 24 hours, garbage are being collected within the same day. Likewise, many things has been come to a certain time frame, and some takes a little bit of time, but I think the working authorities we are working right now are very helpful on working with the system, and they respond immediately. So our focus is to replicate this in other authorities as well.
So what sort of issues has the community been reporting on so far? Is it mainly about the environment?
Yeah, mainly focused on the environment. Currently, the local government, we are looking into 8 categories where we come with the garbage dumping, which is the most reported in Sri Lanka, and blown street lights, blocked canals, dengue hotspots, illegal construction, likewise few other stuff where citizens report on real time, which is related to the local government authorities. So they report, and the authorities get real time information, and they can take action according to that.
All right, Shohan, you told me that you all initially started off in the Gampaha region. So have you all expanded so far throughout the years?
Yes, so we started in Gampaha Municipal Council, and we wanted to test this process, and we worked with Gampaha for almost 2 years, and we had challenges as well with the COVID situation, the Easter bomb attack, and all the political instability. But we have been able to start in other almost 10 municipal councils in Sri Lanka. Most of them were started during last year. So slowly transforming these other authorities also to respond to citizen grievances through this platform and make a transformational change in the country.
Great. So, as you mentioned that there was so many other crises that Sri Lanka was going through at the moment. There was the COVID crisis, the economic crisis, the political crisis also, and especially you're working with government bodies and municipal councils as well. So, did you face any challenges there to get them on board, to communicate with them? Because I'm pretty sure that there were other major things that people needed to be worried about at that moment.
Yes, actually, when we started with the personal reason, I developed this solution and then tried to introduce this to the local government authorities. Unfortunately, no one was accepting this solution because there are different type of scenarios where people are very reluctant to adapt to technology in Sri Lanka, and some thought this is going to be something challenging for them. So, in the groundwork, but somehow we were able to transform one by one these authorities, and they are now converting themselves as digital transformations. So I think it's very helpful as well. When you talk about getting them on board, it's really challenging. There's 341 local authorities. I think I have walked into about 100 plus local authorities in Sri Lanka to introduce, but not going to give up on this. So I'll make sure that all 341 local authorities are on board on this platform.
Okay, Shohan. Before we continue with the discussion, we have to go into a short commercial break. We'll be back soon. You're watching Business Best. Welcome back to Business West, and we were in discussion with Shohan Kulasuriya, the founder of the Mankiwwa app. Shohan, we were just talking about how you have been, how you won the prestigious award of the World Summit Award in last year. And tell me, Shohan, a little bit more about this award, what this award means to you, and how it's been recognized here in our country.
To tell you frankly, as I said before, we have been recognized many times in Sri Lanka, but I think this is more valuable where we have an endorsement from the international organization saying that these type of initiatives, these types of concepts are very renowned to introduce in other parts of the world as well. So I think this, as I said, it's very challenging to introduce this in most parts of the local government authority in Sri Lanka, and I think this endorsement will be able to convince most of these authorities saying that, look, these international organizations too have endorsed these solutions, so why not we get on board and try to introduce them, make a difference in the country. And simultaneously, there are so many other opportunities in other parts of the world as well. So I think this endorsement helps us to reach other countries as well. So that's our focus, also to introduce this same solution in other developing countries as well. So I think this is a great opportunity and a great achievement which we received.
Of course, I completely agree with you, and it's impressive to know that 2 years ago we had this conversation and y'all had just started the business, and to know that y'all have been growing so much and winning this prestigious award also, it's amazing, and I congratulate you on that as well. Tell me about your operations. You being a social entrepreneur, you started off with Mankiwwa, then you moved on to Pink Drives, also creating a platform for women to have a safe traveling journey here in Sri Lanka. And being a social entrepreneur, what's your next step now?
So, starting with Mankiwwa, our initial goal was to, as I said, to bridge the communication gap. So what we do is, in my company, we try to identify challenges each and everyone face in day-to-day life, and try to bring in technology to solve these challenges. So that's how we started Mankiwwa, and simultaneously Pink Drives also came in on board to help the women on transportation, and also to empower more women in the transportation industry. So likewise, there are so many challenges in Sri Lanka and other parts of the world as well when citizens and the consumers get their services done. So our focus is also, when it comes to next step of Mankiwwa, like to introduce as a citizen engagement platform, mostly focused on government services, because that's something which we are lacking right now. So likewise, for example, if we want to meet a official in the government or authority, it's very tough to get an appointment. So bring in a digital appointment system to make easy for the citizens. And also, for example, when it comes to the garbage collection process, so garbage collection is a hassle in Sri Lanka. Citizens doesn't know what time the garbage truck is coming and what type of garbage is being collected. So that's also a challenge. So we are trying to bring that solution also onto the platform, and also many other services. We are small services, but to digitize it so that it is very convenient for the citizens of Sri Lanka to get this through this platform. So that's our vision on Mankiwwa. Likewise, we are connecting the local government organizations in Sri Lanka, 341, and also there's many government authorities who provide services to the citizens, and also citizens face different challenges day to day. For example, emergency services, police, Grama Niladaris, and many others. So our focus is make Mankiwwa a common public grievance platform where citizens can report anything, anywhere, at any time to any government organization, and all the government authorities are connected on real time to these platforms. And as a national body, for example, if we take the President of Sri Lanka, they can look into this information, what is happening on the ground level, and also monitor as well. So we monitor the efficiency level of the authorities also in the dashboard. So we have provided information on the dashboard for the top authorities to look into what's happening as a summary, and also monitor the efficiency level as well. So that's the end goal of Mankiwwa, to introduce this as a common platform and make a transformational operation in the government authorities as well.
That's important to hear, because one thing that you mentioned was getting in contact with your Grama Nilladari and the police officers, maybe not for criminal reports, but little things like getting a police report or getting some certified from your Grama Nilladari and so on. It's a hassle for people to mainly come in contact with government officials like that. So I believe that in future, people will be able to digitize this process also. So as a social entrepreneur now, what was the main challenge that you face with regarding to shifting to a digital platform?
The easiest part of the process was to develop the software. The challenge part was to get the government bodies on board of the platform and adapt them to utilize this. So as I said earlier, we started with one authority, because even though I walked into many authorities, they were reluctant to take the software.
Why do you think they are reluctant?
I think some are reluctant because this whole process is very transparent. So for example, if we say currently we give a document to the PHI in a particular local authority, and he only, according to his timeline, he will do the necessities. But when it comes to a digital platform, everything is transparent, and their supervisors gets to know this about their commissioners, the mayor, everybody on the higher authority gets, so that they can monitor as well. So that was the rejection initially from the ground level officials on taking this platform. But after a little bit of time, after getting utilized, they came and spoke to me and said, sir, this is really great, and this is very helpful, so that we don't need any documents to manage. And also we have been able to reduce the paper involvement in this public grievances management. And to tell you, in last year, we were able to enhance the efficiency level from 45% to 80% in these all 10 local government organizations.
So we've been talking about the local government authorities and how they react to this application. So in terms of your local clients and the people who use this Mankiwwa app, what are the responses you received from them? Have you ever had any critics?
Initially, when we started, there were reporting saying that even though we report, the local authorities were not responding to this, but we communicated back with them and say, hey, look, this is something new. We are going to introduce this in the local government organization, and they are slowly transforming them and adapting to the technology. Let's give some time, by not blame all the time, just try to see how we can help the local government authorities to help you. So that it took a little bit of time, but now, as I said before, sometimes the street lights are fixed within 24 hours, garbage is being collected. So slowly, we cannot do everything overnight. It takes a little bit of time. And now the citizens in these particular local government authority areas are convenient and reporting, and it's been fixed, and also they are happy as well.
You being the mediator of this process from local people to the authorities, has it ever been difficult for you to bridge that gap because you're being the mediator? So tell me a little bit about how you're handling these operations and about your team.
Actually, we have a very small team with developers and people on the administration. When it comes to the local authorities, initially, even sometimes we do it right now as well. So sometimes the officials tend to miss some reportings. So what we do is we monitor whatever has been missed and we communicate with them and they say, hey, look, this has not been addressed, please look into this. So to overcome this, what we are trying to do is trying to connect the higher authorities to the platform, for example, local government. So there's 9 provinces. So we want to bring in the provincial council, the district officials, the national body to monitor what is happening on this so that we don't have to interfere on the local government operation process and the higher authorities can look in. So likewise, that's the plan to work on with these government organizations.
So throughout the 3 to 4 years which has been in operation, how can you describe the growth of Mankiwwa app?
So, as I said, we were working with Gampa Municipal Council for 2 years to see the concept, how it grows. And after that, 2019, we had this Easter attack and the COVID situation, and during that time, and then all the political issues. So, during those time, it was very tough to bring in the local governments onto the platform because they were also very busy with all the other COVID situation likewise. But during COVID, we were able to introduce where the citizens could report COVID issues to Gampa Municipal Council and few other local government organizations where the PHIs gets the real-time information as well so that they can go into the location and identify the COVID patients as well. And also there were food reliefs provided to the citizens on day-to-day during COVID situations. So whoever didn't receive any food reliefs, so they were able to communicate to the local government authorities through this platform and they got the stuff as well.
Oh, that's impressive. That was a point which you didn't mention earlier. So other than the COVID crisis, there were other crises also. Were there similar situations where you had to face like that?
The part we had was the political instability during last year. So because all these local governments are also involved in political work, so we had challenges of starting this in the local government organization. But latter part of the 2022, we were able to start in few other authorities, and also we had a partnership with ICTA, Sri Lanka Tech Body, the government tech body in Sri Lanka, and also with United Nations Sri Lanka to introduce this in 4 provinces which they are looking into in the northern, eastern, north central and Uva province. So to transform these 134 local authorities in these 4 provinces to introduce this and transform and help these government authorities to help the citizens.
All right, Shohan, thank you so much for giving your intake on this and again bringing this recognition to Sri Lanka also with the Mankiwwa app, and I wish you all the very best. This is all the time we have on the program, and let's hopefully have another program with you if you come up with another innovation.
Right, thank you very much.
All right, that was our episode on Business Best. We'll be back again next week with another product or service that would interest you. And just in case you couldn't watch us on air, you can always rewatch by catching us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/otherderana English. I'm Suzanne Shanali. Stay safe and have a good night.